everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of the Beach Court Podcast. The crew is back from Texas. It's a little bit warmer here. It was supposed to be cold over the weekend, but at least it's back to beach weather in Florida. We're getting in the 70s and 80s this week. But I can tell you what was hot. Henry Chao was cooking this weekend, so we will talk about how he took down the regional championships with Gardevoir. We'll give you our San Antonio recap and, of course, the results review from day 2. We found some spicy decks we want to show you. So we'll make sure that we talk about the spicy decks that came up during San Antonio. Of course, we got our fun trivia segment where I'll try to stump the boys again this week. And we'll close out the episode with what's becoming everyone's favorite segment, and that's Crispin's Corner. The feedback has been, everyone's loving it, and we're happy to do it, and hopefully it keeps evolving. But we'll bring back Crispin's Corner, try to find some spicy decks, and maybe we can type in RID versus COR and see what happens.
That's Ridgeway versus Corcoran, which is Eric's last name versus my last name. And also, like, since we would be able to see the players' names, we would know offhandedly that obviously guarantee that I would absolutely destroy Eric.
Anyways, well, welcome to the episode, boys. How was your weekend? Parker, you just got back. Been driving. How was the drive?
It was, well, the drive there, it took about 15 hours for a 10-hour drive because of the snow. And the next day it was like storming and traffic, so it took like my 5-hour drive took almost 8 hours. So I didn't even get the early check-in, and then driving home was rough. I don't know. I woke up feeling fine, and throughout the day I just been miserable with like some kind of flu type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard there were like 200 miles of I-10 closed in Florida for snow, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know, the panhandle of Florida did get snow, which is not an awesome thing in Florida. Yeah. And, there's no snow plow in Pensacola or Panama City or any of those places. So, but my weekend, again, great time in San Antonio. I was able to fly in Thursday night and fly out Sunday night. It was great to have plenty of time to explore the Riverwalk, to hang out with a bunch of folks and enjoy the regional. And definitely by the end of the trip, some of my flights got rescheduled around a little bit, got delayed a little bit, so I ended up having to take a little later flight. So I actually ran into on Sunday, yeah. But it actually kind of, it was kind of funny. I ended up on a flight to Charlotte with a ton of Pokemon folks, so got to chat with some of them, even though I was pretty dead tired at that point, but made it back, recovery day, and then now it's Tuesday after the regional, and then it's like, all right, record the podcast, and then I work today, so here we go.
So what happened with the flights? Which one? Like your first flight?
My first flight was like delayed an hour and a half, so I'd have missed my connection. So I got to get put on a different flight to Charlotte, to Jacksonville. Wow. I mean, I just made it into town at like 12:30 instead of 11:30.
Oh, okay. So you randomly were on Sunny TCG's flight. That's crazy.
Yeah. But also, like Adam Reinhardt was there, and like a bunch of other folks. That was Dallas's flight. Like anyone that was going to Charlotte or leaving from Charlotte, basically.
Right, leaving from Charlotte. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, my weekend was good. San Antonio's like definitely like S tier location to have a tournament, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean,
that is.
Is there any let's spend a few moments talking about this. Is there anything better than San Antonio? Like the only thing that I can think that rivals San Antonio would be like NEIC, like New Orleans.
Yeah, I think Orlando's pretty good.
Yeah.
Logistics wise, and then like there's so much to do, and then like you drop, you're just like Disney.
Yeah. I mean, God, San Antonio is just the Riverwalk. We were Maddox. I'll just keep going with Saturday night. We're just like roaming Riverwalk. We're like texting a few friends, like, "Hey, come through." And like we just ended up under this bridge, and everyone kept coming through. And it was like ended up being like a 30-person like Pokemon group, like under the bridge randomly, just hanging out, and then went to the nightclub and danced on, at Maddox. But God, it's just there's something about San Antonio. The vibes, they're just awesome. Like when I went 2-3 drop, I didn't care. I was just like, bet I'm gonna take a nap, and I'm gonna get a scooter, and I'm just gonna drive around San Antonio. Like it was great.
Yeah, it's definitely a regional location I try to get to early to like enjoy or stay later. I think last year stayed until like Monday afternoon, so I actually had like Monday to explore and hop on the boat and take it on the river, things like that. Yeah, it's definitely again. I think one of the best parts about some of the regional locations is just like the proximity of things to do nearby. Where it's this is for this. Okay, we're at the convention center, and then 2 blocks away is like the heart of Riverwalk, and you're able to go and walk around the river and have lots of great food options and things like that. Plus, there's other things to do in the rest of the area as well. So I think between all that, like it's just a great location just due to the proximity of things to do there and like how walking friendly it is.
Yeah, it
Honestly,
really
even
is.
that, even when you consider like Orlando, there's a lot to do in the city, and even some stuff like near-ish the convention center, but it's not super like walker friendly. Like, you can't go to the convention center and then like walk to Disney, right? If you're going to Disney, you got to go take a Uber there, or you rent a car, or maybe you take your car because you drove enough to deal with parking. And even the stuff on I Drive there, there's a lot of nice stuff to do, but you're probably still like driving around for that, or like
Yeah.
walking farther than you would in San Antonio at least.
And I think it's like after I got to the hotel, we took one Uber all weekend, and that was like just because we were trying to catch up with you guys for dinner and get there
Mhm.
quickly. Otherwise we would have walked, right? Like it's so
Yeah,
walkable.
Pinkertons was kind of far, like from
Yeah,
the action, but also it wasn't on Riverwalk, because so, like you could have easily just stayed, like anyone could have easily just stayed on
sure.
Riverwalk for the most
Yeah.
time, for the most part.
Yeah, it was great. Anyways, I hope San Antonio stays on the, on the circuit and just continues to be like a grade A spot because it's awesome, man. I loved it. I loved it. Well, let's get into our quick recap before we get into all the wieners. So for San
What?
Antonio, I chose to run back Raging Bolt Togekiss. I only changed one card from my Toronto list, and that was I took one shoe out for Lost Vacuum to help the Gardevoir matchup just a little bit. Um, because I expected Gardevoir to do well, and it won. So I'm fine with that decision. Didn't hit any Gardevoirs. Um, I really just like I went 2-3 drop. Uh, my 2 wins. I don't remember what they were against. I have to look at my training court. But my 3 losses, I hit 2 mirrors, 2 Raging Bolt mirrors, and I lost the coin flip in each. And so when you lose the coin flip, it's kind of like when they take the first two, you have 25% chance to win. Because you can set up Togekiss and go 3-3. So I did that in all of my matchups, and I wasn't able to go to hit that 25% any of the times. So I lost. And then I hit a Lugia, and it was like same thing where they kind of got going fast, and they got turn two boss. So I'm like, okay, great. After I missed attack, and I almost went 3-3 versus him. I missed the second heads. But really, I mean, those 3 matchups is just like the Togekiss is in there to help those matchups, and it just the coin flips didn't go my way, and my 2 wins were I hit 2 Dragapult decks, so Dragapult Dusknoir and Dragapult Thorns. So those are my 2 wins, and I was kind of like just once I was X3, I knew 512 was probably like the highest I could do, and 512 was not going to do anything for me this season, so I just dropped and enjoyed the city. Kind of supported you guys over took a nap and was following your guys' run, but what about you guys? What'd you choose to play and how to go for you?
Well, so I chose Drago. Maddox sent me a list that he was
Yep.
very confident in, and I actually ended up playing 59. I kept the Cologne in and kept it at only 2 fires. I didn't prize double fire any game, which was, I guess, miraculous for me.
There you go.
But yeah, otherwise it's pretty standard, except like bundle and Hawlucha were in it. Which if I played Drago, I was gonna play Hawlucha anyways. But yeah, I won the first two. I did play well, but like my opponents didn't, kind of, and games I should have lost. And then uh, round three, played against a very good Gardevoir player. Um, he, I mean, he played like probably perfectly, but he had the nuts every single turn. Um,
Is it a candy
which
build or no?
no,
Well,
yeah, it was like the double poffin, get clef key retreat, pass. He went first. Game two, he just opens clef key, so I'm like, wonderful,
oh,
wonderful.
yikes.
But but very good. He made day two. I forgot exactly what place he got. Like round four, I played against Bolt. I did misplay this round a little bit, but it's kind of not of a misplay. But we only finished one game. In game two,
Wait,
I
what?
went. Yes, we only finished one game. Um, I went. I went down in prizes, and then I went. I had Radiant Zarded her Bolt.
Yeah.
And then I went, brought it back, play it again, Prime Catcher the other Bolt, Jamming Tower, Iona to two, and then there's nothing she could do, but the time got called. Since I attacked with Radiant Zard and didn't have any switches left, I had to like go two more turns of like not attacking, and we tied because of that. So she won game one, game two didn't finish. And five, I played against Cloth. I got destroyed game one. Game two was a good game, and then game three was one of the worst games ever. Um, I basically just manually attached to Drago, and he opened double botted pass, and I just attacked with Baby Drago because I prized all three of my V stars. So I actually
Oh,
ended
Love
up
that.
winning that way because he just bricked so bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Round six, I was like, maybe there's hope. I played against Lugia, bricked game one. He was able to just chase down my stuff, so I started cure him. Then game two, he just had the Ultra Ball, double Archeops, boss. Yeah, there's not really anything I could do.
Hmm.
The bench less guys, but I didn't like draw well enough. And then I got snooped by Cloth round seven.
That's all it was,
So
yeah.
yeah. So final record was that 3
3-4 drop, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Your Gardevoir player went 7-3-3
Mm.
or 180th.
He was like 5-0 or 6-0 at one point.
Yeah, he was 5-0 and then tied 2 rounds in a row, lost and then won. So he finished at 6-1-2.
Yeah.
For some reason, Pokédata doesn't have day two pairings here.
You remember seeing that earlier. But
So,
yeah, so Parker and I end up playing pretty close to the same 60. I also played REGIDRAGO V-Star. I played mostly Rowan Stavenow's REGIDRAGO list. So the main piece about this list is it does not play Canceling Cologne. It does play the Hawlucha and the Iron Bundle. My list shows Jamming Chao rather than the Collapse Stadium that Rowan ended up playing at this last tournament. Overall, I started 2-0. I was feeling pretty good about my play. Also, I feel like I was a little better prepared for this regional than I was the past few. And in round three, I hit Cole Reddy. Shout out to him. Strong player. He was playing REGIDRAGO. So actually, my first time playing a REGIDRAGO mirror in a formal like Pokemon like major event.
That's crazy,
since I've been playing it since Worlds. So first time with a REGIDRAGO mirror. I make it. It's one of those things where I guess, one of the things I see as my growth in the player is like recognizing spots where it's like, okay, here's something that I could have done better when I think other people might look at that and say, oh, well, I just got unlucky, right? So I got Iono'd late and I needed to find, Prime Catcher off of my Iono. And I probably had 7-8 cards. Maybe I probably had 10 cards on deck. I made a slight, sequencing error. So I missed out seeing on one potential card off my Mew restart. And then the Iono that I played afterwards type of thing. So I ended up missing the Prime Catcher by a couple cards. So it's one of those things where it's hey, I miss that couple card chance in game one. Instead, if I win that, then maybe I lose game two and then have advantage in game three and able to win that. And instead, since I'm didn't get to the Prime Catcher I needed in game one, Cole won that game. I win game two, and he's able to win game three to take the set. And then rounds four. They always say in a tournament, right? You get one brick and one terrible matchup. I had Dragapult Iron Thorns with a Monkey Dory and a Manaphy, which again, I am not playing Canceling Cologne. So this matchup, which usually is okay with Canceling Cologne, is now just awful because once I can finally get set up, I played the bundle to get around the Iron Thorns, but in game two they were able to set up two, and so now bundle was no longer really an option. And then I had no way to, go, cure them or try to set things up. And anytime I tried to spread damage, they would just kill Kidori, so the damage on me. So things got pretty bad pretty quick there. But shout out to my opponent for a cool deck. And then round 5, right, you get the brick. So I play against a Miraidon player. I win 6-0 game 1. Game 2, I just go Fez, attach, pass, and they hit 2 off the generator, and before they even squawk and like donk me. And then game 3, again, one of those where it's like I made like a slight error that could have seen me slightly more cards off of Cleffa like slightly sooner. But when I looked at my top decks, I wasn't even getting anywhere. So turn one squawk, with a 1 card, I squawked away a research. I was like, okay, well, I was gonna do this anyways next turn into just like a dead hand, where it's literally, I'm not even attaching, where it's just like, okay, pass, pass, like, literally just draw passing. So unfortunate there. But I did win the next draft of that. Round 8, I hit Richard Dianau. So shout out to him. It was actually great to meet him. Richard Dianau, he's the, he had the earliest placement, like the top 32 or top 16 maybe even, with the Cloth Terapagos in Sacramento. So it's really cool to play against him, kind of like, very skilled player. And he was playing slow Gardevoir with Manaphy. Again, I'm not playing Canceling Clone. So I had to take like an early aggressive line. Things didn't quite go my way. Again, and he was, playing very well. It's rare to meet a player of his caliber at that, at 4-3 basically. But it was cool to play against him, and great meeting him. And then, and then from there, I finished the day at 5-4, winning record, but not quite what I was going for heading into, all the tournaments in February that I'm going to. So we're gearing up for Badoo format now, and but overall, still a great time in San Antonio. And REGIDRAGO, I think, was still a fine play. Again, it always converts well. We only saw one in the top ASIM cut, but we know it was a good play. Just everyone in the room's ready for it.
Yeah, that's just, how REGIDRAGO goes. But, alas, we move on and we itchy pollen everyone, right? Let's talk about the results of the regional championships. I did mention in the intro that Henry Chao, the GOAT, just like did it again with Gardevoir. Like, how does he keep getting away with this? I'm not sure, but he's really good, and that's probably part of it. So Gardevoir took it down, beating Alex Shemansky with Palkia and Noctowl in the finals. Kind of funny. Did you see Josh Frank's tweet where apparently they were playing the night before, testing the Palkia and Noctowl list into Gardevoir, like with Henry? It was like Alex versus Henry the night before.
Yeah, well, I was talking with Josh on Friday, and basically he said to me, right, because he's buddies with Henry Chao, and of course he and Josh also tests with Alex Shemansky. Actually, no, I ran into Josh. Sorry, this was Saturday mornings. You stayed at the same hotel. So I talked to him. He said, hey, I talked to Henry Chao, right? He was trying to get me on the list. He said, hey, we played a best of 3. And I kind of said, okay, hey, if you can beat me with Gardevoir, I'll play Gardevoir. And Henry Chao did not win the set against Josh, so Josh played Palkia. Again, Josh still did very well, but again, we ended up having that exact same matchup in finals where Henry Chao was able to take it down.
Yeah, that's crazy. Practice makes perfect, guys. Anyways, we had Gardevoir, Palkia, Noctowl, James Kawasaki, also known as All Out Blitzel on TCG Live and Twitter and all the things where he plays tournaments online with Pidgeot Control in 3rd place. It's nice seeing him do well. I know he plays a lot of online tournaments. So happy to see him do well. We had Caitlin White chose to play Terapagos Noctowl with the Buffalot package. Pretty interesting to see that up there. I think this is like a couple of cards off of Tord's list, right? This is Bradner's LEIC list. Okay. So they played Bradner's LEIC list. We had a Snorlax at 5th, another Gardevoir, Josh Rawls with Charizard, and Nathan Strafford with Raging Bolt, rounding out the top 8. What's the most surprising result to you guys in top 8?
I mean, it
really surprises me.
Yeah, everything deserves to be here in a way, right? I think they're all relevant decks. No REGIDRAGO in the top 8's probably the biggest surprise, right? We did have Nick Moffat, who lost an asymmetrical cut to eventual champion Henry Chao an asim cut. Nick Moffat also wasn't playing Cologne, just for what it's worth, for anyone else keeping track at home.
Kevin also lost, right? Didn't Kevin also play in ASIM?
I thought, was it just 10 or was it 11?
Kevin has 32 match points, so I'm pretty sure he played.
Kevin Gomez as well in the ASIM cut. Apologies.
Yeah, I don't know what he played against because Pokédata doesn't have it, but
we can always check RK9 pairings. But anyways, I think probably the biggest surprise is really just seeing again all out Blitzel, who has been the online merchant, the gamer online for so long, again finally getting that big tournament result that he's been looking for. And again within a very impressive third place. The matchup into Gardevoir is pretty tough for Pidgeot control in general, I'd say. Obviously, James played it very well, but Henry Chao is, one of the best players in the world right now. Yeah. And I think it's, that's gonna be tough either way. So Henry Chao also did play the Spiritomb, which is very big in the matchup.
Sure.
Just always being able to shut off the early Rotom, which is really gonna be James' strategy. Because if not, then James able to just build up to a Pidgeot. Henry played aggressive lines where he chased down the Pidgeots, setting up, I think he chip damaged into it and then he went for a big charm KO on the Pidgeot, plus an Iono, which is always going to be pretty detrimental to a Pidgeot control player. Great to see Alex Szymanski in finals on his birthday. I know he's tired of second places.
Was it Sunday or Saturday? I know it was his birthday weekend.
I forget exactly when his birthday was, but I want to say it was Sunday. I know a lot of the commentators were saying on his birthday. So, but either way, Alex Szymanski, obviously, one of the best players in the game for a while. Still chased that regional win. Does have an international championship, but I know he's still looking for that regional win. But hard to close it down against one of the best and hottest players in the game right now, Henry Chao.
Yeah, it definitely is. It did also, by the way, look like Nathan Stratford beat Kevin Gomez. So Raging Bull versus Drago in ASIM. So Kevin did play it. So 11-person cut at 32 match points. Yeah, 11-person cut. I think the interesting thing for me that stands out is I haven't seen Snorlax do well in a while, or just Control in general do well. And, we've got 3 Control decks in the top 9. You got Grant Manley decided to play Pidgeot Control. I think he just picked up Alessandro Casoli's list or something along those lines.
He played pretty close to
Sanders.
He played pretty close to Sanders' list. Yeah,
Sanders. Okay.
Sanders but also, shout out to Salmon. Went, I believe, undefeated in Swiss, right? 12-0-1. So the Snorlax stall player.
Yeah. So
props to them. I know they've had an incredible run. I think I saw they had a double brick in top 8, which is unfortunate. After such a strong run. But again, still did the hard work to get there, and they have a top 8 to their name. So, congrats to them.
Yeah, congrats to them. So, congrats go out to Henry Chao for winning the tournament. Like I said, Gardevoir has been strong. We always knew it was a strong deck, and when it sets up, it does well. I do want to run through the quick meta graphics. We talked about the meta. Day 1, we saw Drago take the top spot at 18%. Charizard second at 12.5%. Raging Bolt, kind of held strong in his third place at 7%. Holy moly. And then Gardevoir at 6.1%. So Gardevoir was 4th on the graphic. And then he rounded it out with Lugia and Archeld on Dialga. Both at 5.5%.
Boom.
Goldingo was right there at 5.2. They had the best of the rest graphic as well. Then it was a big drop off to 4%. So we got Palkia knocked out. Interesting to see Cloth drop all the way down to less than 3% of the meta.
Wait. There's only 67 Cloth players, and I hit 2 of them.
Yeah.
Be like that.
But it's in the conversion analysis for day 2. Highest percent conversion looks to be. Lugia went up pretty high. Went up from 5.8 to 9. And then we see on the best of the rest, we see 8 Iron Thorns EX with hammers. And we see Snorlax at 6%. So Snorlax had a really good tournament. And so did Lugia. Excuse me. And the
Yeah.
highest placing Lugia was what? Like top 16? Yeah, Chris or Butler, top 16.
I mean, even still, right, with as many decks in the room ready for REGIDRAGO, still has positive conversion in the day two, going from what 16, 17% into that 21%.
Yeah. And deck is just good, right? Like you just gotta draw well with it. That's every deck, right?
Yeah.
That's literally every deck.
Yeah. I think what is surprising to me is the Charizard with actually a negative conversion rate. 12.5% in day one, dropping down to 10% in day two. Again, kind of a smaller drop off. I think there's just so much control in the room. Charizard has a very tough time to control. But I do know a buddy of mine who played Snorlax Sol who hit some Zards playing Canceling Cologne. So I guess they are out there. Maybe those are the ones that made day two, right? So.
Well, didn't the top list didn't it have Cologne?
Joshua?
Josh, I think he played Cologne.
He did play Canceling Cologne.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's gonna do it for our overall results. We do have some spicy decks that we want to bring to your attention that we found while we scoured the day two pages. Because those are the people that aren't involved in Crispin's Corner, right? So we do want to kind of bring up those decks. So first up, Maddox, you've got an interesting Entei deck for us. What do you got for us?
Exactly. So here we have a Teal Mask and Entei V deck. We've seen this deck, around kind of in little chunks here and there, but never really had a true like day two conversion here. And here we see it's a solid deck that is just going aggressive fast. We see a couple of very interesting cards here, right? So you're playing 3 Entei V as your main attackers, supported by 4 Teal Mask Ogerpon to accelerate the energy into play. Plus, you're playing 4 E-Switch, kind of like a REGIDRAGO deck to power up those Entei Vs, really lean on the early attacks. Some interesting actually, it's kind of funny. I'm just realizing it plays a 7/3 grass and fire split, very similar to REGIDRAGO. Plus, with your normal supporting cast, including like Latias EX, to be able to freely retreat all the time. Also, in case you didn't know, this is a like Judge Disruption deck. So it plays 3 Judge, 3 Bosses orders. So it's not gusting for 2, it's judging, fleet footing, and then KOing your active, or at least smacking into it for decent damage. No copies of Magma Basin, right? So we're not even putting damage on the NTV. So that 230 number, again, like a Tropico's EX, kind of a difficult number to hit. Another interesting inclusion here, and I think is very, very cool, is the accompanying flute. 2 accompanying flute, right? This is really to buff the damage of Burning Rondo, Entei V's attack. But also, find chances to put liabilities into play. Is this a card that's needed? I don't really know. Is it kind of funny? Yeah, I think it's pretty funny. What is also interesting is since you're playing the Area 0 under depths, if your opponent is, board locked out, but they have a Terra in play, you could always Area 0 to force their board bigger and then put Pokemon in play with the accompanying flute. So definitely some options there. Again, just like an aggressive deck, that was able to find a nice run, end up with a top 64 placement. Shout out to Troy Campbell for that showing, and I just think it's the coolest to play. Even played in Briar, I think to help into things like Charizard or other single prize matchups where you can power up those Teal Mask Overpawns pretty quickly and capitalize on the extra prizes. So very, very cool to see.
Yeah, against Bolt, they have like a Bolt in the active and a full board. Like, you can't hit 240, bud. They're like Area 0, flute your ninja or something. Swag for 240.
Exactly. Or even just fill your bench up more to, get to that 240. So very cool to see. Again, and also even in NTV, if you're just smacking and they're not able to KO you back, right, you can always use Teal Mask Ogerpon to clean up with Briar to take a 3 prize turn there.
Crazy. Pretty interesting. Nice to see Entei doing well still with the deck. We see it pops up every now and then.
It's been nice to see like every single the legendary dogs, right? Suicune had its time. Suicune V had its time in the sun. Raikou V's been pretty good all around in Lost Box or Lugia or Miraidon. And an Entei V kind of late, Entei Valiant. We see Entei Teal Masks. Some cool options to kind of round out its life.
Suicune's probably the worst of the 3, right?
It saw some pretty good play back with Ludicolo and stuff, but and the Palkia, it was an E block, so just kind of hasn't been around too much lately.
It was good before Palkia came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, true, yeah.
It was probably the best deck, although there were no tournaments during that time.
That makes sense. That makes sense why I don't remember it much. All right, Parker, you got a deck for us.
Got
it's
an old friend.
Drago deck.
Yep.
Tell us about why you chose this deck and why it's interesting.
Well, honestly, when I picked it, I thought it played a heavier Dusclops, a Snorline. It only plays a 1/1, but basically this is Tino-less, Drago, and basically, I think most of the time you're probably wanting to go Gudra, spread, Dragapult to take 6. It doesn't play any boss, just plays 3 counter catchers, so you're always playing from behind. And this seems cool. It's a different spin on Drago, where typically you're gonna be ahead, except against the turbo decks. But this one you actually want to play from behind and just set up the board wipes, 6 prize turns.
Yeah, two Gudra is interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's really in a strategy of avoiding those prizes and just setting up and staying alive.
Yeah.
So I think it's a neat list to see. Again, the Dusclops to proc the 3 counter catchers. I mean, again, right? It's there's no boss's orders in here, which is almost unheard of in a REGIDRAGO deck. But Hale again cooking up a little bit of something, a little something different.
There's also not 4 research, right? It's 4 Iono. Really leaning into that I'm behind strategy, kind of disrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Turo is pretty interesting for that Lucha if you need it.
Yeah.
I think there's other general recovery. I think also, right, if you're playing into a strategy where you're trying to limit your board and just make them have to smack into the REGIDRAGO, use rolling iron, then even be right. I mean, you go set up 2 Drago Vs, right? Your opponent Gus KOs 1, and once you have your other Drago set up, maybe you're in a late game spot where you can go and pick up that Teal Mask Ogerpon and remove it off the board type of thing.
That's pretty interesting. Did well. I think you got top 64, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 42nd place. That's pretty good.
Also, it's an insane player too.
I wish we would have had a list like this coming in the tournament. I probably would have played it. This could have made me play Drago, for sure.
Yeah, no, pretty fun list for sure. We'll definitely need some reps to just kind of see the new approach to it. I know Tina's definitely got to be tricky for some matchups.
Nah, you just Gudra.
Simply Gudra.
Listen, Gudra plus Dragapult plus Dusclops. I get you there in most matchups. That's not 330, but I get you to 310.
Well, raw bolt when they just hit 360 and blow you up.
Radzar.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, the 4 Iono, again, since you're not really taking those early prizes, pretty cool to lean on.
All right. Pretty interesting deck. My deck is, I chose John Artem Kwong's deck. Under 6th place at the regional. Chen Pao. Yes, you guys heard that correct. Chen Pao made day 2 at the regional championships. This is a pretty interesting take on it. Obviously we can struggle against Kiram and REGIDRAGO and things like that. So they got the Thornton in there to be able to get a Frigibax out of nowhere. Also, playing the Kyogre for stall, respecting kind of stall a little bit. So I like to see the Kyogre included. I got the 1/1 Palkia line. Again, if your Frigibax goes down and you need to kill, have some time, you got the Palkia there to help you out. Also, the counter catcher. I don't know if that's a big inclusion in a lot of Chen Pao decks, but I found that to be a pretty interesting card as well. That we can counter catcher Cologne and then Greninja do some things. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting deck to me. What are your guys' thoughts on Chen Pao making day 2 at San Antonio?
Well, it's an old friend.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty solid if you can live the Drago turns, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Chen Pao, right? We know it's a coherent deck, has a solid power level. This list again does play a little differently because you have some of these other packages in there. No Iron Hands is the big standout to me, and also Pheasantipity does give the deck a little bit of a different life. In the past, you normally play a 2/2 or even a 3/3 barrel line. Here, they just opted for the 1/1 with Pheasantipity as an additional draw supporter. Pretty low on recovery, only the 2 Night Stretcher and Super Rod. I guess you'd have the Thornton, but feels pretty bad to Thornton to get your attacker into play. But again, I think with no Iron Hands, I guess with Super Rod, you really just want the 1 Pokemon to hand, probably. There's some cases where you want to Super Rod the energy back into your deck. But yeah, I mean, hey, cool to see Chen Pao doing, with a strong finish again. Again, the Kyogre from Crown Zenith and the Jet Energy package allows you to continuously shuffle in or return energy to your hand and hit for solid damage, plus the jet, and you can shuffle in the jet energy with that. So that way you can never get Gust stalled. Chen Pao takes Chen Pao from basically an auto loss into stalling control into probably like pretty close to an auto win. Kyler is able to KO through Cornerstone and Mimikyu. You lose any like basic wall decks, but then you have Baxcalibur and Valkyrie V start to attack into those. So like you're probably fine there otherwise.
Yep. Some interesting day 2 decks. I think
we got to show off.
More you want to show off?
Yeah, we got to show off big Conkeldurr at 116th place. So anyone who does not know, Conkeldurr, kind of personal pet favorite deck of mine. This one is all around Conkeldurr for Twilight Masquerade, where it has this attack for fighting plus 4 colorless or 3 colorless. It hits 250, but if Conkeldurr is afflicted by a status condition, it attacks for free. So basically, the whole idea of this deck is you have a 180 HP stage 2 1 prizer, swinging for 250 every turn with the help of Brute Bonnet. You also play cards like Mochi. Okay, well now you're hitting for 290 plus poison damage. You're hitting up to 320. You even play the Petron for some little donk options.
Yep.
This opted for the Pidgeot EX to kind of get your board set up wide. We actually saw this on stream a few times, which is kind of cool to see as well. I think in day 1 we saw one at 5-1. I did not end up winning it on stream, I believe. No, but again, cool to see. Even as the Grant, the kind of obscurely played supporter, but discard 2 cards from your hand. You can recover Grant from the discard, and you're fighting Pokemon's attacks, do 30 more damage. So believe it or not, this deck has a lot of ways to one-shot even a Charizard EX. So pretty cool to see that. And again, just like fun decks like this, someone picking up a more of a rogue deck, having a deep run with it, always cool to see.
Yeah, definitely cool to see. Like the only one I want to highlight as of now was Aiden Koos's Ceruledge list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aiden Koos went up to us. He ended up 143rd. So not quite the finish he was looking, or 146th. Not quite the finish he was looking for, but I remember seeing him at the end of Friday, and he came up to me and says, "Hey, Max, you or any of your buddies have any Ceruledge EX?" And I'm like, "Well, what's the sauce? What's the sauce?" And he said, "No leaks, no leaks." So, this was the pile that he showed up to play with. So we have a 4-2 Ceruledge line. But the real strong inclusion is the 1/1 REGIDRAGO V-Star, really giving you that way to recover, attackers or supporters or other cards from your discard in the late game. Really played some, really teched out list, playing the Spiritomb to help it control, played an Illumise.
I talked to him, he said the Spiritomb really helps get Zard. That's why I was most included.
Yeah, true. I mean, for most people, even Henry Chao playing Spiritomb, he talked to him, he said, "Hey, I was mainly expecting this to help with Zard and Lugia, but just happens to help against any control he hits as well."
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things I think is very interesting is that when you go second versus like Drago or something, you can jet up the Illumise that he put in there and just like put the Drago that he switched to back in the deck.
Exactly. Yeah, the Illumise from Twilight Masquerade with Slowing Perfume. Only if you go second and only during your first turn, you can shuffle one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and all attached cards into their deck. So again,
you jet it up.
Exactly. So I think this is kind of like, some, almost a preview of Badoo format where it's saying, hey, decks that can't do anything on their first turn going second, find a way to do something, right? Whether that's retreat into Badoo or in this case, disrupt your opponent's bench by shuffling in a card that they maybe want to keep around.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this list. I played Ceruledge on stream yesterday to a tournament, and it was in Badoo format. But one of the things that, did hurt a little bit was like, when you see the prime early, because like you're just a research deck, or you're a research Carmine deck. So being able to get the prime back by the REGIDRAGO V-Star late is pretty cool. You do have to like not evolve your Drago V-Star for a while, so you kind of just have to like, if you draw on the V-Star, you're probably gonna just put it in the bin and hope the Night Treacher back later, because you don't want it to get stuck. You do have 4 Jet, which is nice, but yeah, I like Ceruledge. I think this is gonna be a hot take. This is gonna be a hot take. I think Ceruledge might be the best turbo deck of next format. Like the Badoo format.
Might be.
Like
only time will tell.
Like Miraidon's going to be good, obviously. Because Miraidon just can do Miraidon things, and they can go second and do item, they don't have to item lock, they can just amp, right? But I don't know. Ceruledge is like, I was hitting 300 pretty easily last night. Like, it wasn't taking a lot of work. Like you're just turboing through that deck. So I don't know. I mean, I definitely made some misplays. I went 4-2 last night. I'm starting to think that maybe Legacy's good, and like a higher count of boss is better in Cerulean Edge because you want to be able to Briar in those matchups where you need to Briar. But like if they take one prize early, then you can't Briar because they're going to be on odd the whole time. So like putting Legacy onto your Cerulean Edge, you can put them back on even. It's kind of my current thoughts.
Well, if they're taking the one prize early, I think the idea is that you just go 2-2-2.
You've won already, yeah.
Yeah, in theory, but like some decks can attack with one prize, But yes, in theory.
That's why you Legacy Star for your Prime Catcher back and win the game. Let's go.
You're right. You're right. All right, well, that's going to do it for our regional review for San Antonio. Any closing thoughts before we move on to our trivia segment and then close it out with Crispin's Corner? No? Okay. All right, let's move on to trivia. Before we do have to thank our sponsor, Nakama Anime Cafe. Thank you for your continued support of our regional championships, and enjoyed winning the jersey this weekend. A lot of people came up, said hi, said they loved the podcast. I mean, I know there was one round where I was like 2-1 or whatever, and the guy was like, "Isn't that Eric from the Beach Court podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude. What's up, man? How are you? Like, just say hi to us. We love saying hi. Nice people. But if you're ever in the area, come check out Nakama Anime Cafe, and we will be glad to host you. We play locals every Wednesday night at 6:30. It's a good time. Little early tease on March 29th. Nakama Anime Cafe is kind of hosting its own version of a card show. So make sure you come out to Nakama Anime Cafe on March 29th. More details to follow, but go ahead and mark your calendars. It'll be a good weekend to come out.
Yeah. And just to say at the regionals, right, being able to meet everyone was also definitely a highlight for me. My favorite part was like meeting a few people on Friday, like at the venue, and then them checking in on Saturday and saying like, "Oh, hey, I'm doing well," or "Am I winning in," or like, had this, or or at least just like having fun. So it's always great to hear from y'all. If you ever see any of us at a regional, always feel free to swing by. So also, anyone who's listening on Spotify, I definitely did have multiple people come up to me and say, "Yo, that guy Parker, like I finally watched on YouTube, and he's just so hilarious to actually watch recording the podcast because he's making all these faces and all these like reactions to everything all the time." So it was cool to see, and again, appreciate everyone for supporting.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the trivia segment. I think you guys are gonna get this one. It's not too hard. I don't know if you're gonna get like 100% right because there's 4 answers you have to give. That's your hint for today.
Man, going easy on us now.
I'm going. It's early in the morning. We had to record in the morning because of travels and stuff. So, I don't want you to think too hard before work. So, all right. Anyways, Henry Chao. We know he's the GOAT this season. He's won 2 regionals already, and he's killing it. So, there is 4 players last season to win 2 major events. Who are the 4 players?
Last season?
Last season.
So he said majors, so we're including ICs with this. So I know 2 people offhand right away. Parker, not sure if you have any instant gut reactions.
Last season, was that like... What's his name? Is Vinny one of them?
Let's see. Vinny won Charlotte. I don't know if he won South American Regional. Oh, actually, I think I might have all of them now. So I guess first one I remember. Actually, first one I thought of was Owen Cameraman. Right, he won back-to-back regionals with Goldango, not with Goldango, with Chen Pao and then Mew VMAX. Also, and I think a lot of a few of them were multi-region. So Azul, right, won San Antonio with Charizard, but then also won one in Europe with Lax, exactly. Andrew Hedrick won with Dialga, Indianapolis, but then also won NAIC. 2 back-to-back majors wins for him, so pretty impressive run there. The last one, like I'm trying to remember. I think Fabrizio. I think Fabrizio won a major, but I might be thinking this season. I don't know if Fabrizio. I feel like he won one in Europe last season, or maybe I'm thinking of this season. Because I know he just won one in Latin America. So I'm trying to remember if it's someone there, if it's a I'm trying to think of someone who like won the Latin American regional and then maybe one in Europe or maybe two in Latin America.
Yeah, I feel like it is a Latin American player, but
yeah. Anyone from Europe? Brent won one major last year, I think. Right? He won one of the ones in Australia. Because the weekend before, I think he got second at one in Europe. If anyone wants to know the name of these places, I don't remember all of them. Again, the one we were talking about this on the podcast last week. All easy to remember all the American locations when it gets to the other regions. I'm like, it's tricky. Park, you know this last one?
I don't.
I'm trying. I think Fabrizio has won two majors. I think he won a European major last season. Maybe it was this season. But did he win a major? Okay, actual majors. Now I'm thinking about special events. Any weird special event winners anyone have?
Oh, those count? Isn't it John?
It's a major. What did John Eng win besides Portland?
Didn't he win Puerto Rico or something? Or was that two seasons
Jose
ago?
Morero won.
Oh, that's
Puerto
right.
Rico
That's right.
last year.
Yeah. I know.
I'm probably gotta give an answer soon. I mean, unless it was like Yurko or Pedro Petrucci or someone else. I think it's Latin America that I'm missing the regions for. I want to say Fabrizio. Wait, Fabrizio won a major with Mew for sure. And then I don't know if he won another one. Maybe he'd have been two. I feel best about saying Fabrizio over anyone else. I don't know if you feel strong about anyone else for last season.
I'm fine to send it.
All right, so we'll go Zool, Owen Cameraman, Andrew Hedrick, and then for last one we'll say Fabrizio.
Okay, guys, let's run through the results. Andrew Hedrick did win Indianapolis and NAIC.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Owen Cameron won Special Event Utrecht and Regional Dortmund. Check.
Mm-hmm.
Azul won Stockholm and San Antonio. Check. And for the last one, Fabrizio is not the answer. And also, it's too early for me. The answer I had was wrong as well. So there was only three.
Wow.
The fourth one I did have was John Eng. So Parker technically got it right. Because he did win in Puerto Rico, but it was technically the season before.
Okay.
I didn't look at the dates too close. Because it was like right in that like June, July. I was like,
which Puerto Rico did he win?
He won
the one we were at, right?
23?
Yeah, he won the one we were at.
I kind of forgot about that.
Special event Puerto Rico with Lost Zone Box, June 23.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot that he was the one who won that. So, but yeah, that was not not last season.
I'm gonna give you guys the win on that one. Because Parker said John Eng, and then there was only three, so you guys nailed it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hey.
Should get extra credit for that.
Extra credit. Anyways, that was fun. Hope you guys are playing along. Let me know if you caught my error initially or if you thought there was also four. So this is why I usually don't give hints, right? All right. Let's move on to Crispin's Corner. Let's see who was cooking, Maddox.
Yeah. So anyone who doesn't know how Crispin Corner works, how this works is Eric graciously gives me access to share my screen on the podcast. And then here what we do is we look through the live roster of RK9 and are able to compare some lists. And here we try to target maybe some of the unsung heroes of the tournament. So we get to see what arts of the Pokemon they played and what decks they played. And really we use this opportunity to highlight, again, a few people who did not make day two have a chance to highlight their lists and then us to speculate. If these two random players were to be paired up in the tournament right here, who do we think would have the edge? And hopefully we get to crown our Crispin's cooking deck of the week on this. So
let's do three of them.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead. Sounds good. Here, how we do is I use a random letter generator. We just generate two numbers and that kind of two letters, and that decides, what we search for in each roster. So we will start with WY versus VS. So WY.
Oh, Sawyer.
I think Sawyer made day two. So VS, VT, QRST, U, VU. Let's see. So we have Jiangvu, 530th place.
Do it.
Versus Maxwell Wyatt, 1049th place.
Sawyer did not make day two.
Uh,
I want to see Sawyer's list also, just because I'm curious.
back then. So here for John, we have Gardevoir versus we had Maxwell's. We have Goldango.
Okay.
So let's take a quick look here.
No Mawile. There's no Mawile threat.
Yeah, so for the Gardevoir, no Mawile. We do see a Klefki. Only the one Monkey Dory. We do also see a Manaphy. And we see the an 8-2 Psychic Dark Split. Geez, there's any other pieces? Oh wait, we have Lively Stadium. Lively Stadium. Each basic Pokemon in play gets plus 30 HP. So if you're tired
it's a charm.
If you're exactly, it's a charm stadium. If you're tired of your Ralts getting KO'd early, if you can't get Manaphy out, just hey, your Ralts all have 100 HP now.
That's crazy.
Honestly, kind of cook it. Double Evo to get your folks into play to play the unfair stamp version. Let's go over to Goldango real quick. We do see a kind of a pretty normal build here. We do see the Palkia. Looks like the promo Palkia is the one card that we can't see. But was playing the Energy Search Pro version. So you see 3 waters, 3 metals, and plus your other 6 one-of basic energies to find those. And cool to see the inclusion of both here, no Palkia no Togekiss here, but did off to play the one Pokestop and one Temple of Sinnoh to help into the Lugia matchup. As well as a Roxanne.
No.
Also does have counter catcher Cologne. Wow, the Lively Stadium, that's the one stadium bump that's kind of cooking.
Oh, they play 2 Artisan, 2 Gold Artisan.
Oh, sorry. 2 Gold Artisan. Yeah. Let's see. First of all, purely on art review. First of all, we gotta get matching Goldango arts in the future. So if anyone knows Maxwell, hook them up. Let's get one of the two, or maybe he just likes both of them and decided to play both. I can respect that. Have some nice alt arts.
I mean, from here on out, you're not even playing either of those arts, anyways, right? You're playing the new one from Prismatic, right?
I guess if you can, yeah, true. So. But anyway, hey, if you got if you play a play set of them already, or maybe they'll just double down and just play like one of each art, play the base rarity, play the full art, play the alt art, and then play the prismatic art. Like honestly, I can get behind that.
No, me too.
It's no surprise that you're playing 4 Goldango on your list.
That's good. Got the nice promo bundle. I got the shiny Klefki on the right side as their only kind of shiny card. Opted to not play. They probably don't have teleportation burst routes, but probably should get those. So let's find a way.
You can knock stuff out in the mirror.
Well, we can play one of them, sure, but let's get this player some teleportation burst routes.
No,
I really like the fact
they're post-row prepping their list.
True. Post-row. I really like they're playing 3 charms and a Lively Stadium, so really just leading into that hey, against Drago early, my guys need to have a little bit more HP, maybe. I like that a lot. That's pretty cool.
Oh, and actually, if you Bravery Charm a Manaphy and you play Lively Stadium, they can't even Dust Snore it because it has too much HP. Your Manaphy has 150 HP at that point. Dang,
bro, that's crazy.
Cooking, I like the cooking here for sure. But question is it enough to beat Goldango?
I think so.
Yeah,
Eric, I feel a sigh. There's a heavy sigh there.
Gardevoir probably went because I want to say Goldango, but I'm not playing Togekiss, right? If they had Palkia and Togekiss, that's probably what would push it over the edge for me. But with just Palkia, the counter catcher is never gonna work. You don't play Prime Catcher. I mean, you play what? 2? You play 3 Cipher. I mean, Boss Cologne play could definitely be a thing they pull off. With 3 Ciphers. I don't know. It's definitely close because they play the Cologne. And they can just blow up all the Gardevoirs, right? No vacuum.
Yeah, probably the biggest problem for Goldango here is no text for the matchup, really no lost vacuum, no jamming tower, nothing like that. So you have a really hard time dealing with a Drifloon. You'd have to try to set up for a to take 2 on that turn. You really have to go and KO Curlia plus the Drifloon. You kind of have to respond to the Drifloon. Yeah. Also, if you're not taking care of your switch, right, you can definitely run some situations where Screamtail can kind of run over your board as well. So I with an Iono. So I think definitely some things. Oh, actually, only 2 Iono. Actually, no, sorry. Some Gardevoirs have been going to lower counts. Some Gardevoirs have been going to lower counts. where you're playing just like 2 Iono and an unfair stamp. I think it's doable. Obviously, Iono is a very, very good card. I think this match is a little closer than it. I think this match is going to end up being pretty close. I'm going to give a slight edge to Gardevoir here.
Yeah, same.
2.
All right, the Lively Stadium Bravery Charm combo. Pretty cool to see. Let's see.
What was that player's name?
Which one?
The one on the right, the Gardevoir.
I believe this was Jiang Vu. And quick shout out to Sawyer Melbourne since we saw their name pop up. We'll take a quick look at their list, see what they have cooking. Here we have Palkia Noctowl.
Oh, boo. That's not what they put on Twitter. All right, never mind.
So, anyways, let's get right into our next players. We have DJ versus CE. Nice broad names here. We'll see who shows up. We have Albert Centeno.
Okay. Albert, what you cooking?
Versus DJ
Noah. Oh, okay.
So we'll go DJ Vedrano, 1700th place. See what we ended up cooking here on this side. We have, with Albert, we have Cloth Terapagos versus DJ's Charizard EX.
All right, do we have Electrode? No.
We do have Electrode and Super Effective
Yeah.
Glasses.
Okay.
For the Cloth Terapagos player.
Okay. We got the Kieran. That's a little bit of cooking. Get the nice full art Terapagoses and art rare Blood Moons. Both of these decks are very beautiful. The arts are phenomenal.
Thank you.
I think we're approaching pretty good rarities on the Charizard side.
Yeah.
Did not opt for the fancy Charmanders, but you gotta open the regular Charmanders so you think that you're casual. You're just doing this for fun, and then you start getting your support Pokemon in play, and you got all the bling. They say, "Oh my goodness, wait, this guy might be cracked."
Like, bro, is this Leonhardt's deck on the left? Jeez, man. Okay, so
all these lists. I mean, I'm trying to see if there's anything different. They all look pretty standard.
I mean, Kieran is definitely like not normal, right?
Kieran in Cloth Terapagos is a little bit of a different one. Again, just really finding extra ways to up that damage.
They're playing the 2 fish. I really like that.
Yeah, double Lumineon is very good right now, I would think. Other than that, I mean, I think looks pretty standard. I mean, the double Heavy Ball, 2 Force Heal Stone, 4 Area 0, 2 Switch Card. I mean, all this looks pretty standard. We do see the 3 bosses orders, 2 Iono for Cloth Terapagos, just giving options. Even the Professor's Research gives you an early option. No Carmine, but I think I'm fine with that. You still have the Squawk ability.
Yeah.
And the double Lumineon just give you a lot of options.
Or resident Terapagos expert, Cloth Terapagos expert. So what do you say about the matchup?
If you can knock out before they have a turn, it's winnable. Because you go knock out, they take their turn, you knock out another guy with poison, and then they go, can't unfair stamp you. And they probably Iono, or maybe they're still setting up.
You can play around the stamp a lot.
Yeah, and then you go boss, KO Pidgeot, or you do the Electro play, whichever, and then I think boss KO Pidgeot's probably easier. So for the Electro, you just kind of have to find a draw supporter. Can't think.
Okay, so if Zard goes first, does it go a little bit different?
Yeah.
I assume they don't get dogged, right?
I was like, if you can stabilize, I think.
Yeah. It is rough if they go first. But basically, you have to go 1 before they had a turn, then 1. If you don't donk them or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to do a coin flip simulator. We're going to go heads or tails. I'm going to say heads is Charizard, tails is Terapagos. Flipping coin. And it is heads, so I'm going Charizard.
Man, I'm not picking the deck of the people. Cloth Terapagos.
Deck sucks, bro.
Wow.
Oh.
So when I do look at this, right, I think if they're play best of 3, I think this is definitely not a 2-0 game. I think that, there's enough that both decks have to offer. I'll be able to bring it back, right? Again, on the Cloth Tropical side, you have that early donk pressure. You're denying Fez draw. If you're able to deny the early Fez draw, plus just keep picking off Charmanders, they can really, really run into a tough situation, I think, Charizard to set up. But at the same time, if Charizard can, get a board, get a Charizard late, you do an Iono, vacuum away the Charm, counter catch your Fezandipity. I don't know how Cloth's coming back from that. So I think in a 3-game series, I'm giving a slight edge 2-1 to Charizard to take this one down. Parker, our resident Cloth enjoyer, is Cloth Tropical going to do it? It's going to take down the big, mighty Charizard EX.
It's hard. It's like,
yeah.
You can go for liabilities and clean up with Blood Moon or something like that on one of their Rotom Fez Minions. That's kind of the only way I think. If you go second, but I think I have to give the slight edge to Charizard.
All right, so we all went Charizard.
Yeah,
all right,
we're also
move
boring.
On to number 3.
Are also boring.
I mean, Charizard's just good, and Cloth's just bad.
All right, we have KG.
It's not bad.
Versus
AG. If you don't
AG.
start Charlie, you just
AD.
lose.
KG versus AD. KH. Ahmad.
Mod, okay.
Ahmad on the right versus Adam Whitman on the left.
Okay.
For Ahmad, we have Ahmad versus Adam. Ahmad, we have REGIDRAGO V-Star. Versus Adam, we have Charizard.
What's the backwards card? What's the promo card?
This one's going to be a promo. This looks like it is a promo REGIDRAGO V. Okay. So they opted to play 3 different arts of REGIDRAGO V.
Okay.
Hey, let them cook a little bit, right?
Let them cook, bro. Let them cook.
I'm trying to see anything different. This does look like it's pretty close to the Grant Shen build. We do see the Terra Orb as kind of the standout inclusion from Grant Shen's build, as well as the Pokestop. I think this might just be Grant Shen's build. We just see the Alolan Executor in here. Everything else, you just see a promo Squawk. We definitely have a promo enjoyer here on Ahmad's side.
Sick, dude. I love the promos. Yeah, I mean, so these just look like 2 standard Drago versus Charizard list. There's not much cooking here outside of the arts on the left.
Yeah.
Is that Leon Reinhardt's deck? Holy mother.
Leon Hart's deck had everything except for the alt art Fez. It just played the full art Fez because Leon Hart said he'd like the full art Fez better.
That's
which,
fair.
Mad respect, I like it better as well. But yeah, I think that on the left, this is just Arnie's list. I think maybe we cut a card for the vacuum. I forget if Arnie played the vacuum or not, but we do see the 4 Nest Ball and the 2 Rod, 1 Night Stretcher recovery split there. They're pretty solid. Again, two pretty cookie cutter matchups here. What do y'all think?
I mean, Drago's just favored, so I gotta go Drago.
But does the art make a difference?
Does the art make a difference? I mean, we got the...
And also, we have to assume this has to be a stamped rated Charizard, right? I mean, we're just assuming that, right?
Yeah, we're assuming
stamped Charizard EXs. Something extra going on here.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
It's a given.
We got the nice Executor on the right and the nice Drago V. Yeah, I'm just giving this one to Drago. Going full chalk here.
Yeah, listen, I think if REGIDRAGO's a slow start, they shot that, promo Squawkabilly. Opponent's a little confused, a little dazed on what's going on there. I mean, this pose, I think there's, I mean, we don't see it a lot. There's a lot of energy in this pose right near the talons. I think it's already an unfavored matchup. I think Adam's Spirit is maybe a little bit crushed under this with Ahmad's REGIDRAGO list. I do think in a best of 3, Zard can sneak one. We do have the fancy Dusknors. Right, they keep getting closer, and then as soon as it's you get the 1 turn cracked KO, right? Candy Pidgeot, Candy Charizard, Candy Dusknor, KO your only Drago, GG Silent Slip. But yeah, I'm gonna give the edge to Drago here.
No, you go Candy Dusknor, Stretcher, Candy Dusknor, Candy Zard, take 4.
Pretty good.
Wow.
I don't think you're beating that. But then REGIDRAGO goes Myriad Leaf Shower, Iono, KO.
No, I took 5. I just won.
How'd you take 5?
Because I briared.
Well,
Yeah. Anyways, giving the edge to Drago here. All right, so I think I don't know about you guys, but I have my winner of the Crispin's Corner cooking segment, and for me, it's going to Zhang Vu with the Lively
Stadium.
In Gardevoir, so they can buff their guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Lively Stadium. That's a cook for sure.
You guys have any objections to that, or is that your winner too?
That is also my winner.
Oh yeah, Lively Stadium plus triple Bravery Charm. Listen, if you're looking for answers in Gardevoir, no one else plays stadiums. Just don't worry about it. No one's playing Jamming Towers to bump yours. Don't worry about it. Lively Stadium, extra HP buff, pretty sick. You're like, man, wait. I guess, well, you can have Drifloon hit like 360 now.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Wait, Drifloon, what can it hit now? So 120. I guess you're adding in an extra 22. So you got another 60 damage. So yeah, you're ready, Drago used Rolling Iron. That's cute. 360, blow you up.
That's cute.
Can we bring this farther? Is there any other way we can increase the HP? We must find more ways.
Let's see.
What other Pokemon do we have that increase HP?
Wait. You could do the Lost Zone thing and play the Fantina.
You're gonna Fantina your Drifloon.
It doesn't give it more HP.
No, it doesn't.
It takes 100 less.
No, you just give it Luxurious Cape instead of Charm.
There we go. Now that's unfathomable amounts of damage. Actually, I also realized the 8 Psychic Energy synergizes with the Lively Stadium to get that extra energy and stuff on and available. Yeah. Wait, Screamtail can do like unheard of damage if you put a Luxurious Cape plus Lively. 120, you can do 220, so you can, and if you use Monkey Shenanigans, you get up to 210 damage on a Screamtail.
The sad thing is, then a Stadium Bump just kills your guy.
Well, you know what stadium
we're
they're
not
playing?
worried about that.
You know what stadium they're playing? They're playing Jamming Tower. So it doesn't matter. You were dying anyway. So might as well get the extra damage out.
You're right. When you're right, you're right. All right, well, I think that's going to put a wrap on this week's episode of the Beach Court Podcast. We'll be back same time next week, and we'll start talking about the Mexico Regionals that's happening in Merida. And is that, how we forgot how to pronounce this yet? Is it Merida?
Meridia. But anyway, for anyone who does it, it's not going to Meridia. It's EUIC format. We're talking all about Badoo, Vancouver format. We're talking about Badoo, how the game changes. And we'll be cooking up some lists. We'll be getting our reps in and giving you all of our feedback and Eric's and I's pre-Meridia prep next episode.
Yep. All right, until then, that's going to do it for this week. We'll talk to you next week, guys. Have a good one.
Peace.